What's the most ridiculously absurd way you've seen someone get rich in no time? My brother's friend worked minimum wage jobs. Then he and his wife started buying lube in large quantities from overseas and repackaging it in much smaller quantities in their garage and reselling it on Amazon. Really just classic middleman stuff, but they made so much money that they quit their day jobs almost immediately and haven't looked back. I went to high school with Bo Burnham. One day he had a YouTube video go viral. Like a week later he was represented by the same agent as Drew Carey. Ironically, the kid who joked about being unpopular was suddenly really popular due to the success from his jokes. My uncle invented micro machines, little toy cars in the early 90s. Edit. When I see my uncle next I will show him this and all the people he brought joy to. Forgot that he mined a dozen or so bitcoins over a decade ago on his spare notebook. Remembered 3 years ago that he still had that laptop in a drawer. He and his brother developed an online game where two cowboys walk away from each other, then turn around and shoot, and one dies. The game was entirely automated. You could just bet money on who wins, and if you got it right you would x 1.95 your money, with 5 going to the house. They got unfathomably rich. Saw them race sports cars around the world. Last time I checked though, they went to prison for tax fraud. A classmate in high school climbed and subsequently fell off an electric transmission tower and got hurt pretty bad. Even though he was an idiot, because there were no warning signs or a fence around it, he received a bunch of money as a legal settlement from the electric company. Telling them about Bitcoin and watching them go buy 20 plus a bunch of Ethereum. Ringtones. A daytime TV show many years ago about flipping repossessed houses bought at auction where they showed 3 folks couples buying a house, fixing it up, and selling it. One chap bought 2 houses but did nothing to them, didn't even clean them. All he did was sell them at market value and made a killing since the auction price was peanuts. The show edited it as if he was new to the flipping house game, so maybe he'd have a better go the next episode even though his profit was more than the other folks. The next 2 episodes he did the same thing with another 7 houses, before the production team realized that he had no intention of doing anything to any house, and was only there to use the production crew's contacts, and for them to do a lot of the legwork as required for the show. He made over $100K on 9 houses with doing barely anything. The show stopping dealing with him after that. A small-time YouTuber, think under 500 subscribers, I personally knew used to make RuneScape videos. One day he decided to change things up and do creepypasta readings. Bam, went viral and had 10,000 subscribers in 2 videos. Last I checked he's just shy of 1 million. A friend was employee number 8 at a tech startup and resigned after they listed on the stock exchange with 35 million. Bro had an idea, patented it, pitched it to the owner of GoPro, got 2.3 million for it. He's a good guy, but I am still a bit jealous. Do y'all remember silly bands? My friend's dad come up with rainbow silly bands and become millionaire from that. Big lotto winners who aren't satisfied and keep buying more lotto tickets and win again. I don't mean 1 mil or 2, but those mega ball types who hit 10 or more, then play and win million like a year later. Not rich, but my friend told me about how he went to the strip club one night downtown. He stayed until 3 a.m., and then when he left, he walked outside to find a ton of 20 bills just blowing in the wind down the street, so he grabbed as much as he could. He couldn't explain where it came from, no one was around at the time and the streets were empty. Friend of mine started selling her socks after wearing them at her retail job. She started making 7K a month just from that alone. Sex tape distributed by mom. Kardashian wealth is insane. A friend of a friend was at the rubbish dump with a friend and found a bag filled with a bunch of cash. They split it and he hid it under his bed, then used it to pay tradies and stuff. Very dodgy, but sounds like something from a book. My ex back in high school 2015-2016 invested in Bitcoin. He made really good profit and promptly spent it on the largest amount of drugs I've ever seen in my life. I mean stacks upon stacks of it. He rarely sold and just ran through it all with him and his 2 friends in like a month. There's reasons we aren't together anymore. Someone literally sold pet rocks in the 70s and became a millionaire and clearly overthinking everything in life.